The Hindu News editorial cracked down on the need of the strict anti-lying laws, in yet another destruction and the dastardly act that is now part of the pattern in much of the North India. Two tribal men were beaten to death by legally activists of the Bajrang Dal in Senegal, Madhya Pradesh on the suspicion that they were slaughtering cows, a part of the tribal people, Muslim and the Dalits in particularly have warned the worst of these sanctions act of mob violence and the murder. The violence and murder the remains reminiscent of the murder of dearly farmer Pehlu Khan after he and his son were attacked by described cow cow vegetant in April 2017 in Rajasthan. The the two men Sampatal 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 Badi and the Dhansi Dhansi University were attacked by the nearly 20 men. Both died of the injuries. The police have arrested 30 people of their alleged involvement. At least six of them were members of the Bajrang Dal. According to the family member, NNC NC annual by the policy that one of the death men was involved in a cow slogan case had downed yet against were the pro, uh, priorities of the law enforcement lie in such cases. In another pattern, there has been a certain equality in the implementation of the cattle slaughter laws, which is missing is try and the bringing those involved in the in lynch moves to justice. Strict, the stricter cattle law Slaughter laws have been implemented, but in favor that has less to do with animal preservation and more to do with the appear, appear, appearance to the majority im- impulse to gathering political support. In 2005, the September Code had justified the total ban of the cattle slaughter by the expensive interpretation of the direction principle of the state and policy and the relying of the Article 48 and 48(1) and the 51A of the Constitution that seek to preserve the breed used in the agriculture and the animal Hughes husbandry explicitly prohibiting the slaughter of the cows and the camels and other milk milk and drug drugged cattle besides the promoting the camping to the animals. The judgment had over overturned and the earlier running 1958 which had implied the ban only to use the cattle which are still engaged in the articul- articulating and the husbandry. This inter, interpretation only laid laid the ground of the state and governments, especially those led by the BJP and its alliance and the partner, to come up with the stringent law of the cow slaughter and in the public sphere. A extremation in the communities such as the Dalis and the Muslim and the tribal of for their dietary dirty habit and their development on cattle production for the livelihood. For state Rajasthan, Jharkhand, West Bengal and the Manipur had passed a law against the leaching after many such incident, but they were include the various stages of the implementation, with the union government talking the view that that lying is not a crime under the Indian Penal Code, while civil society in the Madhya Pradesh must demand justice for the injustice and the death tribal men and turn to the rule of the law in which such murders act do not go unpunishment. It is the time for the justice and rethink on the legislation around the cattle slaughter. स्लॉटर की मीनिंग बार बार परेशान कर रहे हैं, इसको देख लेते हैं. स्लॉटर मीन्स हिंदी में अर्थ. स्लॉटर मीन्स to kill the animal. This video was for me because I want to increase my accuracy reading. So I recommend you who see my video increase your accuracy reading. This video is not for your like subscribe. It is for me. Thank you.